Hi everyone! If you are living in a non-English speaking country and planning to spend the holidays watching Christmas movies, relaxing at home, and maybe working on your English as a New Year's resolution, this video is for you. This time of year is actually perfect for improving your English. You are hearing the language everywhere, in movies, TV shows, social media, and songs. And you will notice that the English people use during Christmas and New Year is simple, emotional, and very conversational. So in this video, I'll help you understand what you are hearing. First, we'll go through Christmas and New Year vocabulary and casual expressions you'll hear in movies. Then we'll look at grammar and tenses people naturally use at this time of year. And finally, I'll show you how to practice speaking, how to use this language in small talk, and how you can turn Christmas movies into real English practice at home. By the end of this video lesson, you won't just recognize these words and phrases, you'll know how to use them confidently. Let's start. Let's start with vocabulary, but not the kind you see in poetry or old books. We're going to focus on useful everyday words and phrases that people really use during Christmas, especially in movies and casual conversations. These are the words you'll hear again and again. First, some very common Christmas words. Christmas Eve means the night before Christmas. People often say things like, "We're having dinner on Christmas Eve." Christmas Day is the 25th of December, the main day people celebrate. You might hear, "We're staying home on Christmas Day." Holidays usually mean the period around Christmas and New Year, not just one day. For example, "I'm on holidays this week." Time off means days when you don't work or study. People often say, "I finally have some time off." Family gathering is when family members meet to eat, talk, and spend time together. You'll hear this a lot in Christmas movies. Now let's look at casual phrases you'll hear all the time. These are very common in spoken English. Nothing fancy means simple plans, nothing special or expensive. People say this to sound relaxed and informal. Low-key means quiet and relaxed, without big parties or events. For example, a low-key Christmas means staying home, eating and resting. Just chilling means relaxing and doing nothing special. This is very casual and very common in movies. Catch up means spending time talking, especially with people you haven't seen for a while. For example, "I'm catching up with friends." Stay in means not going out, staying at home. This is very common during the holidays. Let's look at a few simple examples. "We're having a low-key Christmas this year." Nothing fancy, just staying in. "I'm catching up with family over the holidays." Just notice how simple and natural this language is. This is how people really speak. Along with Christmas language, you'll also hear a lot of New Year vocabulary, especially towards the end of Christmas movies or in conversations after Christmas. Here are some very common New Year words. New Year's Eve is December 31st, the last day of the year. People often talk about parties or plans on this day. New Year's Day is January the 1st, the first day of the new year. Many people relax, stay home, or recover from celebrations. New Year's resolution means a goal or promise people make for the new year. For example, learning English, exercising more, or changing habits. A fresh start means beginning again, often in a better or more positive way. You'll hear this a lot in emotional scenes in movies. Reset means to start over or change direction. People use it when they want to leave the past behind. you'll often hear phrases like, "Next year will be different. I need a fresh start." "This year flew by." Now let's talk about grammar. When people talk during Christmas and New Year, they usually use basic grammar and simple tenses. You don't need advanced structures to sound natural. Present continuous, talking about plans. The present continuous is used a lot for plans in the future that are already decided. For example, I'm spending Christmas at home. We're having dinner with family. I'm staying here for Christmas. We're having dinner at home. This tense is very common in holiday conversations because people are talking about arrangements they've already made. If you hear I'm plus verb plus ing, it's often about a plan. What are your plans for the holidays? Make your 3 examples using present continuous and share in the comments below. Past simple, talking about last year or last Christmas. People also like to reflect during this time of year. You'll hear sentences like, "Last Christmas was quiet. I worked a lot this year. Last year was hard. I spent Christmas with family. Things weren't great before." This tense is used to talk about experiences in the past. Last Christmas, last year, or things that already happened. Christmas movies often include this kind of reflection. How was your last year? Last Christmas? How did you spend your holidays last year? Write in the comments below. Future with going to or want to. For New Year conversations, people usually talk about the future in a very simple way. Next year, I want to. Next year, I'm going to. Examples. I'm going to relax more next year. I want to improve my English. I'm going to change my life. I want to do better next year. I'm going to focus on myself. I want to make some changes. Notice how easy this grammar is. People don't use complicated future forms when they speak casually. And that's really it. You don't need complex grammar to talk about Christmas or New Year. Simple tenses and short sentences are exactly what native speakers use. Write 3 example sentences of the things you want to do in the new year. What are your New Year resolutions? Share in the comments below. Here's a simple and effective way to turn Christmas movies into real English practice during the holidays. Remember, don't translate everything. Focus on understanding the feeling and the general meaning, not every single word. First, listen for repeated phrases. Christmas movies often use the same expressions again and again. As you watch, write down 5 to 10 words or phrases you'd like to practice later. Don't write too many, just a small manageable number, something that stands out for you. Don't chase the numbers. You might write down only 5 phrases during the whole movie, but write them down, make example sentences with them, practice using them in different contexts, and they will become part of your active vocabulary. Second, pause and repeat short lines out loud. You don't need to repeat everything you hear. Choose 1 or 2 short sentences that sound useful and say them out loud. This helps you pronunciation and fluency. Third, notice the grammar. Pay attention to how often speakers use simple tenses and short sentences. This is a great reminder that spoken English is usually much simpler than written English. And finally, after the movie is over, sit down with your 5 to 10 new phrases and play with them. Write different sentences with them. Use them in different contexts. Write a few alternative sentences using those words and expressions. Spend about 5 to 10 minutes on this exercise. Then read your sentences out loud or simply say them out loud. This is how new language really starts to stick and move into your active vocabulary. It is crucial. There is a big difference between passive vocabulary, when you recognize words and phrases as you hear or read them, and active vocabulary, when you don't just understand those phrases, but you can also write them down and use them naturally when expressing your thoughts and feelings. And that's your goal, to use words and phrases confidently in your speech. And that's why those exercises are important. Here's a small challenge for you. Tonight, write or say 2 sentences about this Christmas or New Year, 1 sentence about last year, and 1 sentence about next year. That's it. 4 sentences. You're practicing vocabulary, grammar, and speaking at the same time. Share them in the comments if you'd like. I will help you to correct them if necessary. If you want more speaking practice, check out my roleplay video with real-life Christmas and New Year dialogues suitable for beginner and pre-intermediate learners, where you can practice speaking out loud.